Alright guys, so I just wanted to show you my EverBook, which is an invention, maybe a discovery by Brian Wolfmueller, a pastor. Honestly, I ran across this on YouTube and I fell in love. I write a lot, like notebooks, with all sorts of organizational tools. I mean, I could pull out more, it's a little hard, but you get the point. I really am a fan of notebooks. So, excuse me, let's get down to this EverBook system. They make a really nice folio. Honestly, I wanted that folio, but I work in a very seasonal economy, and right now is not the time for me to be buying that folio, honestly. So this is basically it. It's a 2-foot chunk of leather. I took a bunch of stencils and Sharpie markers, and I cut 2 feet of leather out of an old purse, actually. And all I did was get a 2-foot strip. See, it's still got its little magnet closure indents. It happened to work out perfectly. I did go a little crazy with a key because I really want to use this for so many different things, but this system is amazing. Let's just show you guys. So I like to put all sorts of pens. I like to have everything right here, but the system basics are folders, a thing they call bundles. And I happen to have some old project paper that I got given years ago and hadn't ever had a use for. It's really thick, nice paper. Made in Spanish Fork, Utah, it looks like. And it's from 1999 by Keeping Memories Alive. So it's really nice paper for this, honestly. I also had a bunch of stickers. So I like my items to be stickered up, obviously. Anyway, so we got these bundles, and inside each bundle you can have more bundles. You can also, that one's empty, so it's not a good example because I just started this system. I like to put notes in different colors. I took a bunch of colored paper, cut it right in half, so I have note sheets. The bundles are simply 8.5 by 11 so that you can fold them in half. One of the key tricks that took me a long time of watching YouTube to understand how this was accomplished is the spines, which I really like having the spines of my bundles for these thicker bundles. This is my schedule and planner, and these are my blanks and my templates. So, in order to create this spine, oh, there goes that clip. Anyway, in order to create this spine, fold your paper in half, just exactly half, just like that, and then you'll take and you'll push. I like to do about 1/2 inch. You do however big you want your spine, but then you fold it again. Make sure those creases are very, very imprinted into the paper. Otherwise, your spine start to round instead of square. I very much prefer these squared, nice spines. So anyway, that's about it. I mean, I keep my blanks, like I said, my templates, so I have extra things to write on. I also keep a thing I found called a tickler file. You can look these up. There's a few videos about them. I will try to find the link for my favorite. It is a secretary, I believe in California, talking about organization, and she has a tickler file. Hers is a full file cabinet drawer that has every month and possibly every day in there, but I cannot remember that. I don't think that's appropriate for this carry-all type book. So I have one tickler folder for each month of the year. So I know I happen to have a doctor's appointment in February, so I'll just show you. Like I said, I just made this thing, so it's not fully utilized yet. But there we go. February 5th, doctor's appointment, 1:30. And so each month, when I do a monthly review at the end of the month, which is definitely got to be part of this system, flip to the next month, look in there, find that I have that appointment, put it on my actual planner. So this just kind of allows me to keep track of things that are months in the future. Now, to be honest, I'm probably most excited to show you guys the planner because, to be honest, I really like dark mode on my computer, and finding a printer or cartridges capable for my printer of printing white ink on black paper proved to be something that was prohibitively expensive. I would still like to do it by next year so I can print out next year's. I'm considering making templates for this. I'll throw them up. I'll just put them up there for free. If you guys want to somehow help me get some white ink, we could start printing these things out. But anyway, so what I did, the reason I want white ink so bad is I use stencils. And they are not as quick as I want them to be. To make this look decent, I use Prismacolor colored pencils. They're very soft, so they really lay down some color. And then for the actual writing, I just use a Pilot G2 white. Sometimes I'll use other colors, usually Pilot as well. Anyway, so I lay down month. I also put it on the spine so that we can have a stack of them. And I'm working through the year trying to make this all set up as I go along. But inside each, and I actually want to show you how I ended up landing on this interior page. I like this much better. We've got a skill to develop, some habits, one thing to attract, one thing to avoid, places to see, people to see, and some priorities for the month at the beginning inside folder. Okay. And I ended up putting that on a piece of paper here because I did like it. And then I've got just a year calendar that goes in the front of the plan section. And this is set up for 2025, so it's not quite here yet, but that's for there. And then I set up these weekly booklets. I got lots going on. I'll just show you a blank one here so you can get a feel for it. Anyway, we got days of the week, try something new, something I'm excited about. I still haven't figured out what this little one will be, but priorities, personal, and work to-dos with some notes. On the inside of each of these, we have a daily layout with the little reflections, what I'm proud of and what I need to improve section, money in, money out. I have a really hard time eating enough food sometimes, so I got a little food section, make sure I get enough food every day. You know, I want to do make sure I'm drinking enough water, meditate, or some yoga, and journal and writing, which includes using this thing, because I really find that when I utilize these things, I do much better in life. And sometimes it's hard to motivate myself to use these things, but as silly as it is, sometimes just filling in these little hearts is something that'll get me to open the book and get started. And that helps a lot. So anyway, we have one of those for every day of the week. Same thing, reflections at the right with the date on the left. And then at the end of the week, I just have this little habit block so I can transfer my daily habit information to the back. So if I reflect on these little pamphlets, I can say, hey, this is my progress. And I have been working on this one habit for 3 months now. What kind of progress we got? And I think that'll help a lot. We got a big win section and a lesson learned section. I pretty much pulled these from a different planner I use. And, you know, I think the language is a little silly sometimes, but it really gets the job done. So I'm not really trying to fix that if it ain't broke at the moment, especially with how much time it takes to lay out one of these notebooks. So, with this completed monthly thing, we have our, this is for January, so it's a completely blank one, but I ended up liking this design better. Anyway, we have our weeks. I'm a little bit neurotic sometimes, so the first week of the month is actually contained in December because we're going to need those first 2 days. So in December, we'll have the last 2 days of December, and then I'll transfer the notebook to the front of January. And then at the end of the month, we just have January review our top 3 things, which is this, big 3 things you really want to get done that month or work hard upon. And one of my planners from the past has a scale system, 1 to 10 for your month, and why you rated it that way, very open-ended, but also if you really think about it, it can give you some insight. What I made great, just something to think about that you made great this month. And then again with the stencils, I didn't have a really great way to draw a circle for one of those wheel type systems like this. Comes right out of this planner I got at some point, and I wanted to make something like this. I didn't need quite so many sections. And just so you guys know, like, yeah, I see that it is blank in there, but I just want you to know when I say I like it right, I really do try to utilize these things, you know? So, anyway. The idea here is you just go on a 1 to 10 scale, going up in incremental notches. As you hit where you feel like you should be on point, you get all the way to 10. And so the idea is to build a full circle. And when you fill this in, you'll end up with some oddities as you progress, where your circle has lines out and in and juts in and out and creates a very odd shape. The idea is to bring all of it into a circle. These are 3 areas to improve and how to improve these 3 areas from here. So you find 3 areas in this you need improvement upon, boom, 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 and bam. So, yes, like I said, I would love to get a printer capable of making these for me, because it is clearly a task to make a year of these at once. And in the long term, what I would like to do is get a very tall 3-ring binder and a hole punch capable of doing 6 holes and file these all away. I may have to end up cutting them out of booklet form, but maybe not. So, that's my Everbook. I really like it. I hope to make a little bit better video for you in the future. This is my first time ever being on film or camera. I'm sitting out in my van again because it's a really great place to do all this. And honestly, that's what this channel will be all about eventually, is this van again. I built it from the ground up. I need some better organization to actually jump into the YouTube barrier, so that's part of this. Anyway, guys, I will try to sell you on this Everbook system if you are looking for a way to get organized, because so far I'm in love, and honestly, they have a great case you can buy, great folio, I suppose, from everbook.com, I believe it is, and I recommend it. I have never talked to those guys. They're not sponsoring me, nothing like that. I would do it if you're not into making your own, because I don't get this excited about an organizational system ever. It's not a thing for me, but I am excited. This will get your life together if you let it. You know, you can keep track of everything. So just to give you a rough idea, I'll probably cut this second part out into a second video, just because we're probably getting long here. But, you know, I keep a lot of projects going on. This is going to become a folder. Red paper means that. I have this van again. That's a project. I have a Volkswagen Jetta. It didn't used to be a project, but starts to get older. It's becoming a project. And then I have this other YouTube channel that I have not even posted a single video to, called The French Connection. because I'm a professional chef and I would like to sell some macarons, maybe some other things, but while I'm doing that, I would like to bring that information to you so you guys could just make that at home if you wanted to. Honestly, there's some really delicious things that people think are way harder to make than they are. They're worth it. I also have a giant storage unit I need to sort. That's a project. Goes in there. And then I keep an inbox. Right now it's empty because I empty it like every day. Anything throughout the day, you know, calendars from the library, notes from school, anything from the day. Just in the inbox if I need to sort it later. Cooking and recipes. A commonplace book, which I deviate from the standard practice of commonplace books. Mostly it's quotes and things, but also it is a whole lot of ideas, odd information. Some people might file this away in something different, like a log. I don't know. I like it as a commonplace book. I don't know why. I just do. And that reminded me to show you guys the other half of this system that really makes it work, because you don't want to carry this around all day, every day. It's kind of a bulky thing. Also, just as a side note, since I'm sure you guys are all seeing this, my handle online is Ness. So I like to do silly things like the pursuit of magicness, or fierceness, or enlightenedness, or radiantness, or wholeness, or adventurousness, or greatness. It started with happiness. Anyway, here we are. So I know I'm kind of all over the place on this. I just do not know how to shoot a YouTube video, and I hope you guys are liking it anyway. I took just an old canvas and I cut it down to the size so I have a hard backer if I need one for writing. Kind of helps. And then lastly, like I said, I got to show you this last little thing, which is this notebook. This is my pocket carry notebook, I guess you would call it. Everyday carry. This is just me getting used to my absurd amount of symbols to make this all work, because I like those. You don't have to do that. I just like those. Anyway, all this really is a multitude of half-size sheets of paper, then folded in half to make a pocket-sized notebook. And I like to stack them like this, and individual leaflets. And the reasoning for that is when I go through this at the end of the week and I find anything relevant, I can just pull the whole page out, unfold it, and stick it where it goes. And it keeps me from having to rip pages because they're folded over other pages or anything like that. I like that it all comes out the same size. My favorite thing about this system is honestly that I can do this forever with the supplies I have, and I'm excited about it. So for me to be excited about something that did not cost me $1, I literally made this in a weekend so far. And granted, if you don't already have a pile of stickers, you know, I have a 13-year-old named Zeke, so I have a pile of stickers from, you know, years of stickers. Anyway, yours doesn't have to be quite so eccentric, I guess. Mine is. But the point is, it all files away. You go from your pocket, you go into here, you keep track of the things you're doing, you keep track of your projects. When something is said and done, like the end of a month, hole punch it, put it in your giant binder, and then you literally have an archive of everything you're working on or have been working on. And if you're like me, you just keep those binders and reference them sometimes. Maybe you go through them once a year and throw out anything that's irrelevant. But as I transfer from here to the giant binder, I will throw out anything irrelevant. And also, as I deal with my inbox, I tend to rewrite things. I know some people do not like to write things twice, but I would rather keep one cohesive list inside a bundle from my inbox than keep 5 papers that tell me 5 different things. I'll just keep that all on one paper inside there, just write it down. That's perfect for me. Anyway, I hope you guys have liked this video. I don't really know what to say as far as when you'll get any videos about this actual van again. I really want to get on that. I live on the Oregon coast, and it's about to get really rainy for a couple months, but you know, I will do what I can, because honestly, this project excites me more than anything. I think you guys are gonna love it. I wish I would have started filming it 10 years ago when I started building this thing, but pretty soon I'll show it all off to you guys, and there's still a lot of projects I want to do. Lego dashboard is coming soon. All right, thanks guys.